Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate you having this hearing. Mr. Chairman, the United States has the safest aviation industry in the world. It's the safest way to travel. We have the gold standard in regard to safety and innovation. We also, I believe I can speak for everyone on this panel, Republicans, Democrats, everyone supports the deployment of 5G C-band and trying to help to bridge the digital divide. I don't think that there's anyone here that would stand in front of aviation safety and block efforts to advance, and I don't think that there's anyone here that would block efforts to improve technology, communication, and again, to help to bridge the digital divide. Yet, if we look at what has happened and we found ourselves in this absolutely ridiculous, inexcusable situation, after knowing for years that there were challenges here, that there were issues here, and finding ourselves in a situation where at the very last minute, their claims, cries, demands, what have you, to delay deployment in something that was entirely preventable. Something, as the chair noted, issues had been raised not months before, but years and years before. And we found ourselves in this situation. There's something called Parkinson's Law. Parkinson's Law is that you're going to use every bit of time available to you to finish a task. In this case, we didn't even do that. We saw two very capable agencies, or three if you include NTIA, just simply sit here and play chicken with one another, or whatever ridiculousness happened. And now we ended up threatening aviation safety. We had flights canceled. And let me tell you something. Tim Clark, the CEO of Emirates, the airline, said, quote, "This was one of the most delinquent, utterly irresponsible, utterly irresponsible instances he has seen in his aviation career." This is the CEO of a company, of an airline. There's no excuse for us to be in this situation. This is what you would expect from some other country without the governance structure, without the strong civil support structure that we have in the United States. It's embarrassing, and I'll say it again, ridiculous, and it's inexcusable. The traveling public expects that airlines are going to be safe. We already have enough uncertainty related to schedules and weather and other things that we don't need to create our own problems, further disrupting or creating uncertainty in airline travel. This committee takes aviation safety incredibly seriously, as you've seen from what we have primarily focused on over the last 3 years. So how do you balance this issue of aviation safety and deployment of 5G C-band to make sure that you can continue to have altimeters that work, you can continue to have aviation safety, and you can continue to deploy this new technology to improve communication? The first step is leadership. It's leadership, and it's fundamental changes in the two primary agencies, the FAA and the FCC, in terms of how they approach things in this case. Most of the time, I think agencies sit there and they wait for people to come to them. And in this case, we saw agencies both sitting there waiting in many cases, and it simply didn't work. It caused the problem that we're facing today. I think we can partially blame the clash of cultures at the two agencies with very different missions. The communications regulator, the FCC, is searching for evidence that there are problems with altimeters and 5G interference, and the FAA, as the aviation safety regulator, is searching for proof that there are none. Totally different approaches. And make no mistake that what's going on right now, we are still in the middle of this mess. We have temporary extensions, mitigation features, and Band-Aids. We're still in the middle of a big mess. And although the temperature's been turned down for now, there's an awful lot of work to be done by all parties as we move forward. To Administrator Dixon, I do want to thank you and your team for working through the holidays diligently and over the past month to keep our aviation system safe and operating while the significant rollout of 5G C-band across the country has occurred. And I know we've asked a lot of your team, and I know they're going to be asking for a whole lot more over the next few months. We need them analyzing the data they're receiving from radio altimeter manufacturers, wireless communication companies, aircraft manufacturers, and reporting they've learned about potential interference. We need a lot of work in terms of the alternatives, I guess, approved in order to allow aviation safety to continue. We need them working with RTCA to expedite the development and publication of new radio altimeter standards and manufacturers to move forward. I look forward to hearing from the witnesses today, but I want to say again, I'm glad everyone's working well together now. It shouldn't have taken this long, and then I think that the White House and others should have stepped in well before we reached a level of chaos. Mr. Chairman, thanks again for having the hearing, and look forward to hearing from our witnesses.
Thank you, Mr. Graves. Chair now recognizes the Chair of the full committee, Mr. DeFazio of Oregon, recognized for
thank you, Mr.